Have you felt stuck? Feel like you keep wanting this certain life, but you can't change, and you can't change yourself, and you can't change your reality, and everything just feels stagnant and the same over and over and over again? Today, I've come to teach you the four laws that have truly changed my life and put me from someone who was insecure, didn't know how to talk to people, who now is building their own personal brand and is a very confident person. And I am doing the habits of the person and becoming the person that I always wanted to be. So, today I'm going to teach you the four fundamental laws that have really changed my perspective on life and changed me so incredibly much. If you feel like everything is stagnant, everything is not happening for you, I'm sorry if you can hear the rain. It is thundering a little bit. I'm hoping you can't hear it. Anyways, I got my Alani with me. I just went to the gym today. Life is good. Okay, so the first law that I want to talk about today is the law of detachment. The law of detachment can be something that is very hard to grasp, and some people hear about this law a lot and just don't know how to actually put it into action in their lives. If you don't know what the law of detachment is, it's the law of and the meaning of releasing releasing the expectation of outcomes and releasing the emotional trigger that you have with an outcome, because everything in this life comes from you get things in this life coming from a place of abundance and a place of wholeness in yourself. If you are constantly focusing your attention on something, it is going to run farther from you. And that's another law of the universe, which I was not originally gonna put in here, but basically saying that if you have this fear and you have this anxiety around this certain thing and this certain outcome, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your career, or whether it's your business or your school, or just anything in this life, and you have this worry and you have this fear and you are constantly focused on that thing is gonna run as far as possible from you. And because have you ever realized that sometimes the more attention you put on the person that you like and the person that you want to talk to and pursue, suddenly they're out of your life and you're like, wait, what just happened? That is this law. So basically, when you detach from the outcome, when you start focusing on yourself and start focusing on your internal at the perfect balance of internal and external, is when the detachment begins. You have to realize that you need this balance of internal and external, because if you're 50-50 on both, then you are in alignment with yourself and you're able to take inspired action. And what do I mean? What do I mean by a perfect balance? An internal and external balance looks like knowing yourself so internally and being so focused on your goals, so focused on your passions, and coming from a place of love and a place of gratitude, because love and gratitude is the highest frequency that you can exist at. And love and gratitude will attract more things externally towards you. Externally is your physical world, which is meaning take care of your body, take care of your like it's like self-care, and being grateful for the things that you have externally in this life. Be grateful that you have a house. Be grateful that you have a roof over your head. Be grateful that you have a bed to go to sleep to go to sleep in at night, and be grateful for the friends that you have, or simply anything that you have in this life, and notice those things, and suddenly you'll realize that you're in alignment, and you will start getting inspired action And because when you're in alignment, you are at your most creative state. Because when we're just fully focusing on our external, we can be out of balance in the sense that every little thing that happens to us is going to affect us so much. If you get stuck in traffic, that is going to affect you exponentially more than if you were content with yourself and knowing that there is a higher outcome than if every single thing triggered you and made you believe that the rest of your day was going to be like that, because you will be in the frequency of, oh, say I hit traffic, I'm so focused on the external. Now everything in my life seems to be going horribly because you are on the frequency of lack. The frequency of lack and looking at things in that way, looking at, oh, I wish I had that relationship, and being so focused on this person that they're just running so far away from you because you are looking at them as putting them on a pedestal, looking at them in a sense of, I don't have that thing. How can I achieve that thing? And this can go with money. This can go for so many things. If you look at money and you're like, wow, I would never be able to have that much money. Oh, I need that amount of money. No, you don't. Everything that you have and you need is in here and in here. And if you focus on yourself, you will get everything externally. I promise you that. Um, but if you're too much in your imagination and you're too much focusing on like your internal, you're not doing anything externally. To reach your goals, you need to be doing things externally. Need to be taking care of yourself, and you need to be doing things to get those goals. I always say you can't simply wish yourself into who you want to be and the life that you want to create. You have to take inspired action, and you have to build habits to become the person that you want to become. You can't just simply become them. But when you put those two in alignment, when you put those two perfectly together, then you're in alignment. And suddenly, oh my gosh, things will start coming to you and life will start seeming so easy, because I will die on the hill that we were not meant to live a hard life. Sorry, hot take, I said it. Because what do you mean I came to Earth to experience hardship? No. And this might be such a Gen Z take, but I believe that I came to life to be whimsy and love my life, and to be grateful for everything that I have in this life, and to experience everything that is good in this world. And if you are focusing on the good, you will experience more of the good. It's confirmation bias. If you're constantly noticing the things that are negative in your life, you're only going to see the negative things in your life. If you're constantly focusing on the things that are positive in your life, you're going to see the positive things in your life. Boom. Easy. Done. Deal. Yes. Okay? Okay? So that is why the law of detachment, and you can put this with the frequency of love and gratitude, is so important and so fundamental to have. And that's why I wanted to start with that one too, because that one is literally changed my life and is insane. If you are wanting something, you're trying to manifest something, if you're constantly focusing on it, babe, it's not going to happen. If you're constantly focusing it on in a way of lack, if you're saying like, you know yourself and you know that this thing is meant to be yours, because I don't believe because I believe that if we have a drive for something and we have a want for something, if it's your divine self, not if it's your ego talking, if it's your divine self being like, I know I was sent on earth to have this thing and to experience this thing, it's gonna happen. It's going to happen. And if you want another video going through the ego and the divine self, because there is a difference and there's a split between that, I can definitely make a video on that. But okay, I just spent so long talking about that one because that one is tea. Okay, that one I love a lot. Okay, Next one is the law of polarity. And a lot of these laws come from spiritual teachers. This one is from Hermeticism. Am I saying that right? I hope so. And this was a Greek philosophy that has been covered for a lot of years. And fun fact, Isaac Newton and stuff like that, he also believed in these principles as well. Um, and a lot of business leaders and people like that believe in these principles as well. You can research the Hermeticism. I can make a video on Hermeticism. I have two in this video from Hermeticism because you know, because those ones really speak to me. Okay. Anyways, the law of polarity, meaning that everything in this life has a good and it has a bad. And this, always looking at religion and looking at Christianity, especially, I always had this thought of and this confusion of why, if there is good in the world, why is there evil in the world? Like, why are there bad things happening in the world? And it was just something that I could never wrap my head around and be like, why would God do this? You know? And it was always my question in Christianity and Christian religion and stuff like that. I could just never fully commit myself to Christianity because of this thing that confused me. I was like, if God is so good, why is there evil? And why is there like, why does he let such bad things happen to people? And what made me kind of understand is the law of polarity. You can't know what good is if the opposite version of it does not exist. Like, how would you know what happiness is if you didn't know what sadness was? How would you know what living a beautiful life is if you weren't living a bad life or something beforehand? How would you know, or any, like, how would you know any of that? Because you wouldn't. You would just have this baseline of, oh, everything is like this, boom, boom, boom. You wouldn't be grateful for the things that you had. Gratitude would not be able to be kind of like this emotion that or feeling that we have because we wouldn't know to be grateful for these things because we wouldn't have ever experienced the opposite. And that lit up a light bulb in my brain. I was like, that actually makes so much freaking sense. Like, yes. And if you even think about it, like yin and yang, they're opposites. Like literally everything in this life has an opposite. I'm like, that's crazy. And the law of polarity basically sums up that those opposites live in the same realm of each other and they basically are the same thing. And I'm like, yes, because yes, that makes so much sense. I hope that makes sense to you. Like, yes. Another law is the law of pure po. Wait, I'm gonna put up the law right here because I low key forget it. I forget the name of it. It means that we are one with everything in this world. When you think about it in the sense of we are made up of the same particles, the same atoms, the same everything that every other thing in this life exists of, or we exist of something in the universe in space, and our soul and our bodies are one is insane to think about. And when you think about you are one with everything, that means you also have control over your own reality. You are the universe experiencing itself. I just listened to a podcast yesterday that was basically saying there are so many different fathoms of life and there are so many different experiences in life and careers that people go down and just life paths that people go down because God, the universe, wants to experience every facade of himself. And I'm like, that's insane. So basically, me in this physical realm is the universe experiencing itself. And when you put it in the sense of that, you don't feel as small anymore. I feel like society wants to teach us that we are very small, that we don't have much we can't change much in our world, in this world, in reality. And knowing that you can, and just the fact that a lot of these spiritual teachings are just coming up again now, and they were made by like the Romans years and years and years ago, and they're just being resurfaced now. Like, these were covered for a reason, in my mind. That's what I'm thinking. They were covered for a reason because they want us to be part of the rat race. They want us to be that 9 to 5, we go to school for 8 hours a day, because they want to suck creativity out of people. Because when you are in the frequency of creativity, you are closest to your most divine self. And realizing that you are one with nature, you're one with animals, you're one with literally everything in this world, will give you a new appreciation for life and make you realize that you are fully in control of your reality. If you have a passion and you have a drive for something, you were put on this earth to experience that, because the universe wants to experience itself doing that thing. You were put in this world to take that inspired action, to take the dream that you have and just go for it. And a lot of time people don't do this because they have a fear that things are not going to work out for them, and they have a fear that they are not worthy enough. And that is just your past experiences speaking to you, or that is societal conditioning speaking to you. Once you realize that you are in full power and you have so much power over your reality, and you can change your thoughts and you can change your habits and you can change everything, and you don't have to be stuck in the person that you used to be. Because a lot of people just say, I am the way I am, like, I can't change. Yes, you can. The fuck? Yes, you can. And a amazing way to do this is through meditation, it's through prayer, it's through all of that stuff, and focusing. Talk like you're having a conversation with your highest self. What is your highest self saying? What passions do your highest self do? What do they do on a day to day? And start implementing and stepping into that version of yourself, and see how fast your life will change. And when you are doing this with all the other laws that I spoke about today, wow, wow, your life will change. But last but not least, we're going to talk about the law of mentalism, or the principle of mentalism, which is also a Hermetic principle. And this is basically the idea that everything that's in your mind, I've kind of covered this a little bit, everything that's in your mind is how it's going to show up externally in your life. Basically, how you perceive everything in your mind. Like I said, confirmation bias, what you think are the things that you are going to notice in your life. And every assumption that you have in your life will continue to show up in your life until you change those assumptions, or learn, or lessons will keep appearing in your life until you learn those lessons. And basically, these lessons keep appearing in your life because there's some subconscious part of you that believes that it is true. And to change this again is through meditation and prayer, dreaming of your highest version, dreaming of or picturing the highest version of yourself. Because there are many studies that show that what we imagine in our brain is no different than actually doing this task in real life. There was a study of people they had to imagine climbing a ladder every single night before bed, and they measured their brain waves of people who actually climbed a ladder at the same time, and realized that the same parts of their brain were lighting up the same way. Because what we imagine is what our brain believes to be true. So if you're constantly imagining negative things and the worst possible outcome, of course it's more likely that the most negative outcome is going to happen, because you're freaking like in the state of that happening. You're in the state of being of that happening. You're in the frequency of that happening. So it's 10 times more likely that it's gonna happen to you. About now, if you go to bed and you're constantly and you're in the theta wave of the theta wave is the state that you get in meditation or prayer, or when you're falling asleep, or when you're waking up. When you're in the theta wave, this is the most susceptible your brain is to new information. So, this is the best time to change your thoughts. And basically, whatever you're imagining during this time, whatever you're worrying about, is going to proceed into the next day and into the next days upcoming. And there might be a window of change where nothing seems to be happening. Say you're trying to change your reality and you're just thinking positive thoughts before bed, dreaming of your highest self. Of course, there's going to be a time gap where nothing is happening because you need time for reality to catch up to you. You need time to learn these lessons and see these lessons again in your life and do the opposite of what your old identity would do. Basically, whatever is up here you will see externally. Your assumptions about life you will see externally, but thankfully you can change these. And a lot of times we go through periods of life where it seems super easy to be changing our mind and just good things are happening to us. So it's so easy to see the good things in life. But if you feel really negative right now and you feel like good things aren't happening to you, just start imagining your best self before bed. Start getting into meditation and feel these sparks of creativity come back to you and see these sparks of inspired action come back to you, and just trust that in divine timing everything is going to work out for you, because literally everything happens to you in this life for a reason. That comes back to the law of polarity. Bad things happen to you so you can experience the good things in life, and everything that is happening to you is constantly shaping you into the person that you are meant to be if you are doing it with aligned action and meditation and stuff like that. So, yes, that is my little ramble today. And these are the things that fundamentally changed my life forever and ever, and things that have made me have a spiritual awakening. So, write down in the comments any other videos you want to see, any things you're confused about, and I will answer them. I will make videos about them. So, thank you so much for watching.